We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You know I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. Miseducation and politicians. No one's willing to step up and speak.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net. I'm your host, Al Graham. Tonight, for the first time in a long time, like a real long time, I'm actually hosting this show alone. In a way, I'm jointless. Yeah, I don't have a joint host with me, so... Kim Cooper, as we know, is moving. She's been very busy. Julie Carell also, night off, very busy schedule. And plus, she's, for some of you may know, that she is in a mobile home, like in a RV style living situation, where she's going around the coast and stuff in California and spending some time living in an RV. So she's having a bit of an issue with her RV, with that vehicle. So get those things fixed, get your busy schedule calmed down, and so I'm here alone as far as host-wise, but I'm not alone here on the show. No. Tonight I'm joined by Green Irene. Hello, Green Irene. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, Al. Yes, and you know what? It's been a long time since I've been on the air with you too, I think. I mean, we did Reefer Reporters a little while back, but it's been a long time since I've been on the air.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a long time since we just, like I said in the post, you and I, we're just going to sit around and have a chat tonight. Talk about old times when it comes to shows and different things that you've done, as well as what the future holds too.
Yeah, I have a very exciting future starting. There's some things coming up that are just, we'll get to all of it.
I'm sure you will. Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say, before the show, I told you I was searching for my lighter. Guess what I'm still doing?
Are you still searching for your... Really?
I'm still searching for my lighter, and I don't know what the heck. I swear to God, they disappear around here. They literally vanish into thin air. It's not like someone stole it. I'm sitting here alone.
Yes. Oh, doesn't that drive you up the wall? It's like I just literally had it in my hands. I put it in my lap. Where did it go? Like, did you look down the side of the cushions, maybe?
That's what I'm doing. So if I sound like I'm cutting in and out, I kind of am. We were going to talk about education, right?
Correct.
Where we've
Yes.
been. And
Yes.
do you find there's still a stigma? I ran into it today,
You did, eh? Yes, I completely 100% agree that there's still a stigma out there, and there's still lots of work to be done. Like 100 years of stigma doesn't go away in a couple of years. It's going to take a while.
No, and I guess what I found?
Yeah, what did you encounter today? Like you mentioned that you come across them.
Well, basically, I went into the post office, actually, and it wasn't the post office attendant. It was somebody standing outside of the post office, and when I came out, the bag I was carrying was Lifting Company. And it was from one of their shows way back when, one of their very first shows. And so there's all this really graphic silhouetting of cannabis leaves. And on the back side of the bag, it says something about, medicating and educating and that sort of thing. And the woman just literally sneered at me. And I said, I'm sorry, did I offend you? Because I thought maybe when I held the door open, it offended her because I wasn't wearing a mask. I really wasn't sure what had happened. And I felt like I had offended her. And she says, no, you just stink like weed. And I thought,
really? What? What?
I have never told me, I had someone tell me that I stink like weed. And I thought, well, shit, lady, good thing you didn't see me yesterday because I haven't even had a puff yet today.
Oh.
You know,
You hadn't even had one.
but
Uh,
I don't blame anybody. Like I don't hold her personally. Right
yeah.
now, emotions are very volatile, right?
Yeah.
All of this COVID lockdown, all of these health scares, people are really on edge.
Yeah, people
Um,
are. And like if I get behind the line of somebody who smells like tobacco, I just back off.
hmm,
I don't smear at them and you smell like tobacco, I just I just kind of back away because yeah.
right? I mean, I
Yeah.
don't run away from people that smell like garlic.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's people who have allergies to perfumes, where they have to have where those concerns are. But yeah,
Well, sure, yeah,
just sounds like she got a little nasty to you. But yeah, people
yeah,
are. Some people are
and
on edge for sure.
it really took me off guard, only because, I don't know, I guess I live in my own little bubble, right?
Hmm.
And in my bubble, everybody understands cannabis, or at least understands that I am going to preach the power of that pot plant to you at some point in our conversation. Um,
So did you take this opportunity to um, try to attempt in any way whatsoever to explain, educate this lady?
I think I would have loved to, except she moved so quickly into the building and I was so stunned. I think I really just kind of, wow. Well, in fact, shortly thereafter, I got to my brother's and it's like, brother, light up a joint, man, because you won't believe what just happened. And so I told him the story. And then I realized, because the alarm on my phone started to go off, that today I was supposed to start with my Tocat 2 on the Green Irene's THC group page. And
Right.
I had a whole thing prepared, but I was
Oh,
so confuddled and blustered, It was like,
right.
wow, what happened? I was really taken
Uh,
back by it. And I guess, I get it. There's definitely an odor to cannabis. And for
sure.
someone
Sure.
like myself who uses it in the multitude of ways that I use it,
Hmm.
and as consistently as I do, as much as I do, um, I get it. You are what you eat. I eat cannabis every single day. I eat it raw. I eat it activated. I don't eat it activated every day, but I do eat it raw every single day.
Yeah. You sweat
Cannabis
it.
is a superfood, right?
Yeah, yeah. How some people, they eat garlic and as if you can smell the garlic in their, in their sweat because it comes through their bodies. Maybe cannabis is the same way, but yeah, it used to bother me in the beginning, but there's a lot of times now I just, oh well, I'll just keep going. Like I don't have a lot of people say too much to me, but I'll smoke a joint right up until you walk into the post office.
Yeah. Right? I think there's a lot more offensive odors. Oh my good Lord. Do you remember that story we reported on about there was a problem. This was going back about 2 years ago. There was a problem with they didn't want the cannabis grow plant to go there because they were concerned about the smell and it was going to
Smell.
go right beside a chicken factory.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Something that's even something.
So yes, there are much more offensive odors out there for sure.
Yes, there is, and I understand people don't. Not everybody likes it, but it's you live in a place where there's some industry. Your city or your town's gonna smell like it. You go to
Right.
Peterborough, you got to Quaker Oats.
Yeah, there
Uh,
you go, right?
yeah. On a sweeter note in Campbellford, you got the chocolate factory. Some people really enjoy it, but some people don't.
Right. Right. I think if I had to smell chocolate every day, I would not be such a chocoholic.
Yeah, maybe. All right, so let's move along here. As far as programming and stuff like that, we're gonna get into some programming, what you're doing in the future, shortly here in the future. But let's go into some stuff that you've done in the past. I think probably the first you and I met was when you were doing stuff with Rogers.
That's right. That's right. I had cannabis conversations, and that was, I believe, just before or right about the same time as legalization. I had opened up cannabis, or I was opening up Cannabis Corner Cafe, which was supposed to be a medical vape lounge.
Right.
Now, so this was prior to legalization.
Mm-hmm.
As far as recreational legalization is what I should say. And so in opening that, I felt it was really important to help educate the community because I do live in what was at one time a very puritanical kind of town, very
Conservative?
Yeah, there's the word I'm looking for.
Well,
And there was a lot of archaic attitude associated with cannabis and cannabis consumption. Now, I mean, I have never been, again, fortunately, it's a small town, and I've never been a shy kind of girl in that if I believe what I'm doing is right, well, I don't hide it, and I won't hide in the shadows just because somebody else is offended. I will find out why they're offended and educate them accordingly. And I have been that way right from the start. Now, as you know, I used to be very against cannabis consumption prior to getting ill. Yeah.
That's right. I remember the first time that you appeared on the show as a guest. That you talked about that, and you were against cannabis at one time.
Well, I had been educated by public service announcements that the government put out on Buffalo 2 television and TV Ontario and, all these different stations. I grew up with those and I really believed it. Now, I had several friends that were, in my opinion, potheads. I put them to shame today.
It's sort of like that lady today. Looking at you, you smell like weed.
Yeah, and and I think that's part of the reason why I have the tolerance or temperance with people that have this attitude that's very archaic, because I was once there. I remember being very offended about thinking it was okay to sit around and become a couch potato,
Yeah, exactly. And through your experience, you got to see another completely different view of things.
Absolutely. When I got sick, it took a few years for a diagnosis, and you can bet your ass anybody who's gone through any autoimmune deficiency condition labeling where they finally got a diagnosis, I think 99% of us have the same story, and that was we were tested for everything else under the sun first. Which means
familiar.
Right. And we all go through it. So it took about 4 years, and before I got the label, but it took the first 2 years. I kept fighting it because I thought, what the heck? It's got to be in my diet. It's got to be my attitude. It's got to be this. It's got to be that. Because I was peaking and ebbing. I was really, really sick, and then I'd get a little bit better, and then I'd get even sicker. And then I'd get a little bit better. And then I'd get really sick and I'd be down for a long time. And then I'd get better. And it was, what the heck is, I'm going nuts. My body is having the nervous breakdown I think I should have had.
You find out that basically, you're attacking yourself, really.
Well, and that's exactly what it becomes. And so after about 2 years of that sort of a battle, I finally gave in to the doctors and said, fine, give me the freaking meds. I'll take the pharmaceuticals. Um, and at that point, I didn't understand pharmaceuticals, but I knew they couldn't possibly, chemicals for a biological being, it seemed like a weakness to me, to be quite
Right.
honest.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, if I'm gonna do the doctor's drugs, I might as well do my brother's bud too, right?
That's right. That's for sure. Yeah, because all of a sudden you're on the medications that are strong. And like you sound like you're against taking medications, and I wasn't. I'm not a person that was always really good at taking the pills or whatever the doctor told me to take until I got really sick, and I decided, well, I don't really have a choice. If I want to try to get better, I'm gonna have to try to take them all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what? Pharmaceuticals certainly have their place. I mean, there is a lot to be said about the science of medicine.
Oh, I'm still on a big pharmaceutical. So, but yeah, keep going.
I mean, I've been fortunate enough that I have managed to stay pharmaceutical free I'm going on 9 years. It'll be 9 years this
Very
June.
good.
Or
Very
just,
good.
yeah. Oh shit. It's already passed.
It's already passed. It's July now.
Wow.
We're 2 weeks
10
in.
years.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty awesome, right?
Yes.
But admittedly, I mean, just because I'm living pharmaceutical free does not mean that I'm living without the condition.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
My
They don't
body
go
broke
anywhere.
down.
Yeah.
It took my life health hostage. It held my happiness. It robbed me. The disease robbed me of a lot, and the dis-ease. And you'll hear me say that a lot in the upcoming programs. I really do differentiate because I can't help you. No one can help you cure that disease. That disease is a disease, and the doctors and scientists are working on it. I'm not qualified.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
There's lots of diseases out there that don't have cures, and Crohn's is one of them.
Crohn's is one of them. Diabetes is another one of
Yeah.
them. Your body has
Lots of
failed. It doesn't have the part to do this. But what I can help with, and I can help other people with it because I have helped other people with it, and I've helped myself. Most importantly, I've helped myself. And that is I can help you with the dis-ease that you're dealing with. And that is your body is not at ease. It is fighting, it is struggling, it is battling, it is giving up, it is going crazy, and it is not at ease. So I can help you find that ease inside of yourself to help you help you. Do you understand? I've been trying to express that through text, through the articles that I'm doing and the webcasts that are coming up. We'll get to that. And through all of this stuff and through the books and the different audio tapes, because we are, and I've said this for 8 years now, we are the first line of defense when it comes to our health and wellness. And we so easily relinquished control over our health to our doctors because I don't know why.
Because they have some access to some medications that some people need and some people believe they need, and it's they're the ones that are educated. But it all comes down, and it all comes down to, in the end, you have a choice whether to accept it or not. Make your own decisions, just like I did when I got sick with my Crohn's. I made a choice not to do opiates.
Right, and that's been hard on you. You've had to find other alternatives.
Cannabis. I'm allowed to take some Tylenol, but I'm not allowed to do any anti-inflammatory drugs, right? So it's just cannabis, and I'm on a pharmaceutical drug for my Crohn's disease treatment called Entyvio. Yeah.
Now you've used cannabis historically for quite a long time, correct?
Yeah, historically, medically, full time, all the time for the last basically 20 years.
Now, have you implemented any other programs? Like, have you tried anything else? Have you tried, um, different, like changing your diet? Have you tried,
Oh,
changing your exercise routines?
diet. Oh, diet. That's just that's something that is an ongoing thing that I deal with. It'll never end. I don't think.
Well,
It's
it's
always
constantly evolving
adjustment.
because your body's
Yes.
changing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Right, right.
And just because something was fine to eat last week doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be fine this week. And as our listeners may or may not know, I'm in the process of waiting to hear back on some tests that I had to find out what's going on the inside. So,
Right.
yeah.
And yeah, we've all got our fingers crossed. Those of us who know you and love you have got our fingers crossed and saying, this has got to be curable. And where there's a will, there's a way. And
Right.
Al, you're going to get through this because this is your day, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's some options, but it's yeah. I'll know more next week, and cross my fingers. They just say, "Yeah, thanks for." Now we have a new base model to look at. The other one is X amount of years old. We can see where it's progressed, and now we'll just go from here. But we don't need to go inside yet. I'll just say thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I hear you. As someone who has experienced over 230 surgeries,
Oh.
I will not go under the knife again. I just won't,
Oh.
Yeah, right?
230 surgeries. Oh my God.
Over 230 surgeries. Yeah, my very first one, I think I was just a little over a year old when they had to put tubes in my ears.
Oh yeah, I had that too. Yeah, I had the
Yeah.
tubes. Yeah, I had them.
Yeah. And then I went through
Yeah.
that for years. And then there was tonsillitis, somewhere around 4 years old, appendectomy, and my appendix burst when I was around 8. My mom
Oh.
was so pissed she was at the Elvis concert.
She had to leave Elvis and run to the hospital.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She was not too happy, let me tell you.
Oh. Well, maybe lucky for you, you were sick. Like, really, they had to go in and take that stuff out of you.
Oh, yeah, they did.
And it wasn't just a
Luckily,
runny nose, you know what I mean?
fortunately for me, I was young, right?
Yeah.
And our bodies, when they are young, they bounce back so quickly and so
Yeah.
wonderfully well. So I was very, very fortunate in that way.
Yeah.
But then
You found
after
your
that,
lighter?
I found it. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
all
You're,
right, all right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interfere, but jump in there. Did I just hear that lighter?
yeah, I found it. It was under my chair.
Good, good. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, continue then.
Oh, so yeah, and I mean, and then after that, there was exploratories. I dealt with cancer. I dealt with, I had the pre-cancer bullshit happening with, female parts and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and then children, and then oh my good God, the laundry list is unbelievable.
Oh my God.
And do you know, I honestly,
it's just so many. Oh,
yeah, but I think my granddad was right. My other grandfather, not the one that everybody's met on the 710, but my
right.
other grandfather, he's long, rest his soul, he's passed.
Mhm.
But he used to say the way to stay healthy was keep the hell out of the doctor's office.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see a point there because I know during my rough times, there was times where the medication side effects were seemed worse than the condition that I had, and then they give you medication to deal with the medication that you're taking.
The absolute, exactly. I was on 93 pills a day, 2 injections, and a
93,
small patch.
93 pills a day plus a patch,
Yeah.
and you say
And
an
now,
injection in there too?
well, only if I needed it. So obviously, after the first week, I needed them, right?
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
So
three.
I was
That's three
taking,
times more than me. I had to take 30 some odd pills a day, and people think that's a lot. 90. Wow.
oh, yeah, I was taking
Like,
3,600 milligrams of gabapentin 3 times a day 4 pills 3 times a day. I was taking Senecot, 8 pills a day of Senecot. No wonder my bowels stopped working. They
You
didn't
have to take
have
that. You have to take eight Senecots to try to get your bowel removed. Obviously, they got you loaded up on opiates too, or something along that
Oh,
line.
I was absolutely. I was on so much crap, and I was actually in the end, towards the end, I was having a bowel movement every 28 to 32 days. So you can
What?
imagine,
Oh,
right?
toxic. Oh.
Right. Absolutely. Septic, toxic. I was, killing, literally dying on, in this on the scene. And I was scheduled for a colostomy. They were going to put because I was already on it's called a post-pube catheter. So it's just a
Okay.
direct link. It's a direct hose straight into your bladder. It just empties your bladder and you
Right.
dump the bag. And that's all it is. It's an extra hole in your belly. Bing, bing, you're done. Because I wasn't strong enough to undergo the surgery. So I was scheduled that as soon as I could get my strength up, they were going to take and put a little portion, a little balloon bag or what have you, so that I could, colostomy, and it had to be higher up in my
Mm-hmm.
bowel, where basically the digestive system would work on the outside of my body for elimination. This really scared the crap out of me, and thank God I never had the strength to do it, because after ditching all of those pharmaceuticals back in 2012, I or yeah, it was, I don't know how to explain it. The very first time I felt a cramp in my belly, it was like, I think that's a hunger pain. I hadn't felt one in years. And
Mm.
then the bowel movement to actually feel like, oh my. So the very first crap I took
They're-
was the most blessed shit ever.
That's right. Yes, yes. Those are things that get celebrated. Maybe not always publicly, but they do get celebrated. That's for sure.
We really do, because we don't realize just how important our health is until we start to lose it, right? And
That's
then
right.
we grapple for it. And so when we have these small accomplishments, like I had a bowel movement all on my own, is like one of the coolest experiences ever. Standing up on my own 2 legs without any assistive devices for the first time and taking a few steps after a few years. It was remarkable. It
Yeah.
was, it wasn't as astounding for anybody outside of my world as it was for me, because I was the one that's going, wow, I really can do
Yes.
this.
You're the one that's
Um,
living it. Yeah.
yeah, and it was huge.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so I mean, to be able to teach other people what I've done since then, to stay away from those meds, to stay away from those pharmaceuticals that, as you say, the ones that you take for the side effects and the side effects themselves, all of these things begin to compound. And if you listen to anyone who has an autoimmune deficiency, I'm going to pull fibromyalgia up. Oh, yeah, I got labeled with fibromyalgia, but I also have myeloencephalitis, and I've been suffering with some polymyalgia rheumatica, and I have irritable bowel syndrome, and these are all these are all latch-ons, because once you get to the core issue and start dealing with that, those latch-ons aren't near the issues that they once were.
Good. There's ways to get rid of them or solve them, ease them. Like
Manage them.
management. You said something about ease as you broke up
Yes.
that. Yes, and that's yeah.
It's to ease those symptoms. When you're dealing with
Disease.
irritable bowel syndrome, I mean, I've got one of those wackadoodle colons that just does whatever the hell it damn well pleases.
Oh.
And and that being
and when
said,
when it wants to, of course, always at the most unopportune time.
never trust a fart.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
So,
That can.
but even though, I've gotten And I really have. I've done so much research and so much study and so much testing and trial and error to find out, as you say, sometimes this works, but what worked last week may not work next week. So you've got to be able to adjust and adapt, to go with the flow. And I have done so much of this that I finally reached that point where I can start helping other people help themselves, to say, hey, you know what, you've got this going on. We got to look at some different structures. And so many people, coming back to our original conversation about that woman who just flabbergasted me today at the post office. You know, here's the thing. Information is power. Education is empowerment. Understanding something instead of being afraid of it gives you so much power and takes the power back from that fear monster.
Yeah.
Cannabis can be used in so many ways that benefit us. You know, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, irritable bowel disease, ulcerative colitis, all of these conditions can be managed to a great, not including a flare-up, but managed to a great degree just by incorporating raw cannabis into your daily regime. Raw cannabis has so many healing qualities, and you don't get high from it.
That's right. Well, why don't we get into that when we return from the break?
Okay, sounds great. I'm going to wrap it up.
Gonna wrap another doobie now that you found that lighter.
I did. I'm not losing her now.
That's right. All right, it's off to break we go. When we return, Green Irene and I will continue our discussion and talk, chit-chat, what do you want to call it. This is the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada.ca. Once again, People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada.ca. Check them out.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
The People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network provides its listeners with news, information, and a place to be heard. This is done with a twice-weekly broadcast of the Reefer Reporters and by providing cannabis advocates a place to be heard through Cannabis and Coffee to Marijuana and the award-winning Pace Radio Show. Catch it all here at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
What is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network? It's a network of people advocating cannabis education.
CTCP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CTCP.
Who has huge buds? You do. If you shop at BMA Hydroponics, attend one of BMA's educational seminars and learn the secrets of growing, harvesting, processing, and consuming quality cannabis and cannabis products. Learn how to make better extracts, edibles, and medicinal creams at prices you can afford. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive, Belleville, or call 613-967-9888.
The only way to go.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net. Hello and welcome back. You're listening to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net. Plus, if you missed tonight's show, don't forget, you can always catch the podcast afterwards at paceradioshow.com. Tonight on the program, I'm joined by my guest, Green Irene. And we're talking about the past, the future of Green Irene's Talk Time. We're going to get into all that, but we got much more. And we've been talking about health situations and actually, talking about bowel movements, really. But,
shoot the shit, token.
Yes, literally, we're talking about shooting the shit. But we're also going to talk, like I said, about your show and the education and stuff that you're doing. Now, before the commercial break, you mentioned something about fibro.
Right. Well, this is exactly what's going out. And I was starting to talk about different diets and stuff and different ways we can control and manage our symptoms, especially anybody that's suffering from a chronic illness or chronic pain. I mean, I know the prison of pain far too well. I'm far too familiar with the challenges that are common to chronic illnesses. And so as such, I've put together some what I consider amazing programs. And the few people that have been through the program so far or that have worked with me all think it's pretty amazing too. So it's being released to the public now, and it's Fight Fibro. Fightfibro.ca is a blog that will be coming out. It comes out tomorrow's the first one to be published, the first blog post. And it tells you a little bit more about my story and where I'm coming from and the different things that I do to fight pharma-free. So the idea is fighting fibromyalgia or any other chronic illness for that matter. These strategies can be applied to just about anything in that it helps you. How can I say this? Okay, one of the things I learned about myself and I learned about all those others that I have met since then and those that I see today and those that I knew in the past is when our body becomes ailed or diseased, when that happens, our happiness gets held hostage and the quality of our life becomes very disturbed. We lose more and more quality as time goes on, and we end up in this downward spiral that is just such a horrible, hard place to crawl and claw your way out of. Having a support system or a game plan that says, you know what, how can I do this? How can I deal with this crap? Because, if you lost a leg, I can't help you grow one back. We don't have 1,000 years.
No. No.
But I can help you to really get a kick out of life without the leg, you know? And I do it and so I share the tools that I have learned, that I have been training in, that I have been studying in, that I've been practicing, and it's neuro-linguistic programming. It's hypnosis, and it's cannabis. Cannabis. I use it in every which way. Like I said, I could probably put my friends that I once called potheads to shame today. But it really helps. And so with this new program that's coming out, because I have put the pieces together in a systematic process of, here, let's understand where you're coming from. And you know what? We find that out when a patient or a client goes onto the Fight Fibro and they sign up to the program, it's a self-guided program. So they learn themselves as they're going along. What are your trigger points? What have you done in the past that has worked? What have you done in the past that, just brought you down to the next level? Knowing that, having it in a visual or being aware of what those are already puts you in the driver's seat. You may not know how to drive the car yet, but you're in the driver's seat and you're willing to learn. So right there, we start learning about the different ways that we talk to ourselves, the languages that we use, because our brain is nothing more than a program that operates this body. This body is nothing more than a corporeal form that contains a crap load of energy. Well, you know what? If you can control energy in a light socket, you can control the energy in your body, and you do it all with the programming in your brain. So if you could spend 2 hours watching television and get programmed, imagine having an idea of your life, of your plan, of how you're going to handle that next pain moment, or how you're going to handle that next very uncomfortable event that you have to attend that causes you huge anxieties, that brings on a flare. Whether it's a pain flare because you're tensing up going to it, being prepared for that in advance because you've got a strategy, a battle plan. Frick,
Yeah.
it begins, it's a whole new game.
You're more prepared.
Yeah. And so once you start, once you start writing those programs, learning how to program the computer in your brain and knowing what things you want to plant in there, you can make those things automatic by using hypnosis. And hypnosis is really concentrated, intended meditation. So when we go into meditation or we zone out, like, you ever sit at the dinner table, you're in a crap load of pain, people won't shut up, and you just kind of stare at the salt shaker until you don't even hear them anymore.
Or you can't stand it anymore and you got to get up and leave.
Yeah, but that zoning out, that's hypnosis. Correct. That drive on the way home, that's automatic. To step on the brake because you're coming up to the stop sign that is there. And you know what? That bimbo in the Ford Taurus in front of you never puts on her signal light, but she always slams on the brakes at that driveway and pulls in. So it's coming. You don't even have to think about it. You start doing it automatically. And that's because this is a program that has been written into your subconscious mind. So imagine being able to do that ourselves so you write a program for your brain that says, this is how I'm going to deal with this. This is a strategy. This is the warrior, the armor, the battle gear that I'm going to arm myself with. And then you plant that strategy in your subconscious mind over and over and over again. You implement it, you suggest it, you put it there. When you're in a state of hypnosis, which means you're bypassing all the critical faculties, you're going straight to the subconscious. You talk to those monkeys and you say, hey, boys and girls, this is how we're going to do things from now on. And we're going to start practicing this in a state of meditation on a regular basis so that when the time comes, we're going to deal. And we got this.
We'll meet it head on. Now, would that be, would that be similar to, like you see commercials on TV where one of them is weight loss? I'm not quite sure the name, Noom or Noom or whatever like that. They in the commercial they show these people inside someone's brain, and I'm your conscious, and I'm gonna help you figure out how to lose weight without, retrain your mind is what they're planning on doing.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. It's retraining your brain. It's training your brain to do what you want to work for you instead of against you. How many times have you done something? I don't know why I always do that. It never works. Right?
I don't know who has, but yeah, go.
It's because we program that shit into our head. I mean, a while back, Buddy came to me for hypnosis, and it was just a friend, and it was
Yeah.
just in shooting the crap back and forth. And he said, the one thing that drives me insane is that I have to leave the house. I've got to come back 3 times before I actually have everything I need to leave the house, which historically was never a problem for him because he had a bungalow that walked straight out to his car. But now he's got all these stairs that he's got to climb and descend. And, it's 10 years later, his body's that much more aged. So it's really a burden now. He says, can you stop me from doing that? I said, no, but I bet you can. I'm pretty sure you've already got the solution figured out in your brain. Let's go there. Let's see. And so, got him into a state of relaxation, which he was very, very nervous about. Fortunately, he is a cannabis enthusiast. So I said, hey, I happen to have a little bit of Romulan number 9 in my care package. And I pulled it out and I said, let's puff a joint and, just do a chill meditation. When I see that you relaxed and you'll show me signs, like your body language will show the signs. We'll just start going into a state of hypnosis where I can start programming a new program for you so that I can help you, and you can start finding the solutions that why you go back 3 times. You've just got to know that you don't have to go back 3 times. And once we start doing that, and you know what, inside of 45 minutes, we had him feeling completely relaxed, a change on his face. He now leaves the house once and has been doing so on a regular basis for over a year.
Good.
Right?
Yes.
And it's not because I did anything magical. It's because he knew why. There was something triggering his brain to go back to the house for 3 more tries, like to make sure for whatever reason. And I mean, none of that is any of my business. I don't even need to know it. The cool thing is he already knew it. He knew it in his brain. He just had to shut everything else down so he could access that information. So our brains are fucking amazing. Excuse the French. I'm back.
I got the explicit language light on so people will know. Oh yeah, because some people's brains just never stop. It's just go. You just went from one thing to another thing, and there's never any rest.
We haven't learned how to filter information. And usually as soon as we can find, like as soon as like a client that'll come to me that's having that difficulty, that their brain won't stop, and ADD is a really big thing right now. We are inundated as a society with information. Information overload is a mild expression of what we are actually dealing with on a daily, hourly basis.
It's a 24-hour news cycle. It's just constant. Bang, 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 bang. Just the information. At one time, you relied on the 6 p.m. news or your newspaper that showed up in the morning or later in the evening. Whereas now it's in, I think babies are born with the damn things in their hands.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a phone or a tablet or something. And yeah, 3-year-olds are using them constantly. It's just,
It's crazy. It
is.
I watch my 2-year-old granddaughter. And my 9-year-old grandson, and he says, Nanny, it's okay. She just needs her tablet. Her what? And she knew exactly what buttons to push to get exactly what she gave me a look like, there, dummy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a 5-year-old granddaughter that I was at her place and watching her on the computer and doing things, and like she's not even looking at her hands, and she's hitting different buttons or different keys and stuff like that to make things happen, and she's not even looking at it, and she's just telling me all about it, and I can't even absorb it all or even keep up to what she's trying to tell me. She just they can do that, whereas some of us are a little bit on the older side and I would say older side, but we didn't have that stuff. We weren't even allowed to have calculators in school, never mind a computer.
Well, they thought we'd have to rely on our brain, and we really did have to develop our frontal cortexes. So our
Yeah.
front brain, our critical thinking brain, right? But here's the really cool thing. That kid brain, that little child's brain that can learn 7 languages before it's 3 years old,
Uh-huh.
that little kid brain that knows all these buttons on the computer thing, you know why that kid learns everything so quickly and easily? There's no critical faculty. You're going straight to the subconscious and you're automating almost every program that you give that child. You are programming that child. So if you have a systematic way of programming that child, just like walking, it started with one step. And after time you learned your balance, and in more time you learn, and that's all done in subconscious, that now you don't even think about it when you're walking unless you've been drinking.
Well, yeah, that's right. You can have an issue there. That's for sure. No doubt about that. Yeah, because it's I can see your point there where it's becomes like they say, you never forget how to learn how to ride a bike.
And you don't. It's
don't.
the coolest thing. I hadn't ridden a bike since I was about 10 years old. And my first summer out of the wheelchair, getting healthy, being pharma-free, guess what I did? I got on a bicycle and I rode. I rode everywhere.
The wind blowing in your hair.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
graduated a bit, but it was really cool. I didn't beat myself up. I didn't try to do anything irrational. Just the idea of being able to get on my bike and go through the flat, paved trail along the parkway
Yeah.
in the waterfront was enough. And you know what? It worked my muscles, but it built
Yeah.
those suckers right back up, and it reminded them that they had a job to do.
Yes, exactly. After you say you were in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Out of the 10 years of being really sick, and I know a lot of it was pharma induced. I know, and the mental part of it too. Like I hated when people, I would see red when people would say, oh, it's all in your head. Oh, you son of a, but how I handle it is in my head. I just went through a really bad fibro flare in the last 14 days. 10 of them have been what historically would have had me bedridden and popping a crap load of extra pills. But instead, I got up, I went for a walk with my dog, I went for a bicycle ride, I sat in a chair and I cried because I'm allowed to cry when I hurt, but I
Yes.
didn't live there. I
Yeah.
didn't live in that pain or that sorrow or that wallowing. I was really bummed out. I didn't get to go to Kim's games. That was my big event. You have no idea how much I was looking forward to that. And, at the last minute, it's like, no, I have a sunny day. My body hurts and it's so tired of battling. I really need to rest and rejuvenate because next week it's going to rain all week again.
Oh, it's going. Yes, exactly.
So, and sometimes because we have a disease, our bodies are not, we can control them being at ease. We can manage how at ease they are, but we cannot cure that disease because, well, the scientists are working on it, and when there is a cure, they'll let us know. But in the meantime, no matter how well you treat yourself, no matter how much you have honed and developed your skills of self-hypnosis, of meditation qualities, of how good you've gotten at programming your brain, no matter how wonderful your diet is or perfect your exercise routine is, something's going to happen that is going to cause you a flare-up. Most of the time, it's things out of your control, like the weather, like somebody else's misfortune, somebody you love. That'll throw you into a tizzy. There's all kinds of things outside of your bubble that can affect you and cause a flare-up. So when I tell people I can help you, I can't help you get rid of this shit, but I can help you deal with it and live a full, happy, content life that's designed by you for you.
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we got 5 more minutes, and we'll go for a break. And I don't want to jump on the questions there. I got something I want to get into, but I want to wait till after the break to do that.
Oh, very
All right.
cool.
And so with the fibro end of things, as far as treating it with cannabis, what are things that you would suggest, or that people try or see if it works for them?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you remember at the start, I had said, I figured, well, I'm going to take the drugs from the doc. I might as well take the bud from my brother, right? And so I did. And okay, so my very first joint, it was the most ridiculous thing. So a week later, I went back to my brother. I said, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know how to roll this. Can you please roll it now? So he rolls this joint for me, laughing at me. And I smoked a third of it. I got so high. It was like, wow. But the muscle spasm that was happening in the between the base of my skull and my shoulder blade, that muscle had gone into a Charlie horse, which had my neck forced into that position for about 3 days. Okay. When I smoked that joint, it was relieving it, relaxing it, and with the high, I actually straightened my head out. I could fit one of those neck braces on, and it was like, I cried. I was back at my brother's in no time. I need more of that.
That's right, exactly. It helped relax things, I guess, so you could straighten your head out.
Mm-hmm. So anytime so my brain right away was trained that pain can be fixed immediately. There's that, you don't stick your finger into a fire a second time after you've done it once. And the reason you don't is your brain is trained very, very quickly. Well, same thing when it comes to suffering a pain you're not familiar with. Your brain is trained very quickly. So if the first thing you train your brain to do is grab pills, burst into tears, curl up in a bed and live there for a week, guess what your brain wants to do the next time?
It wants to do exactly the same thing it did last time.
Right. And in this case, my brain remembered that, guess what? That joint really helped. And so it went right back to it. And so when I had a muscle spasm in my leg, I smoked a joint. When I had a muscle spasm. So I started smoking. And that was my first introduction to cannabis, was inhalation. I really knew nothing, but I knew it worked. And if it works, it works. And if it use it. It was as simple as that. By the time I was using cannabis on a regular basis, I was starting to grow my own because, again, it was still illegal except for medical. My doctor was very against the use of cannabis consumption. I later educated him. But
way to go.
And you know what? You can't fault a fish for not knowing how to climb a tree. It was never taught.
That's right. It's exactly right.
So it's the same with the doctors. Now, the narrow-minded who I don't want to hear any of that, that's a different story. But the ones who were never taught and did have an open mind, pay respect. Yeah. So you can't fault them for having a different education. That being said, so I was growing, and I was growing illegally. I had a few plants going. Didn't really know what I was doing. Had an issue and basically I started learning how to grow for myself, which plants to grow that would produce the most bud for me, since that was supposedly what I was after at the time, because I was inhaling, right? So that's where I started learning about this whole education on grow your own. And it's like, wow, like you can really customize this plant. You can grow your own freaking food and your own medicine all in one plant. It started getting really cool to me. But at that time, it was just all I wanted was bud. I wanted flower. I wanted to smoke, and I didn't want to have to pay an arm and a leg to do it. I still wanted to eat and keep a roof over my head.
That's right.
As time went on and I got sicker and sicker, my partner started doing a lot of talking, to people on the job site, to other patients when we were in the doctor's offices, when we were, he started talking to people. And he was very much a cannabis supporter. So he said, hey, try this, and started, juicing. He started feeding me it in my food. My mashed potatoes were made with cannabis butter. My soups were made with cannabis-based oil-based broths. My salads were dressed with a cannabis-infused olive oil. So it was being introduced in any way it could possibly get into my diet. He was putting it in there.
Nice.
In addition to that, he was using from the vape machine, the vaporizer, the volcano balloons. We found, like, once those things cool down, that whatever cannabinoids were left in the balloon actually stick to the bag. Well, if you can absorb, and here was our theory and thinking, if you can absorb the fentanyl through a patch, and I understand there's a lot more science with the dermal lotion and that sort of thing now too, and I'll come back to that. You should be able to absorb the cannabinoids. It's just, our train of thinking at the time. So he would cut those balloons open when they got really, really sticky and yucky, and it was time for a new balloon.
Beigey looking.
Yeah. And he'd wrap them around my feet or my calves.
Oh,
wow.
Really?
The relief that I would have was phenomenal. So a couple years later, when I got off of all the pharmaceuticals and everything else, and my life had done this whole turnaround and yada, 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 and now I was up, it was like the very first thing I wanted to do was tell my doctors, you know what, I found the cure for fibromyalgia. And I'm sorry, but that's exactly what I thought.
Hey, that's right. This is a word for me, man. I gotta let you know. This is my cure. Yes, that's right. Exactly. The THC in the wrap, the plastic bags wrapped around as a patch, transdermal patch. I see. I want to touch on that before we go to a break. Before I forgot this thought, as I see in the news that companies or like the OCS is going to start having transdermal patches available for people, and as you know, you and I know, our stores are for recreational purposes, not for medical purposes. I just find it odd that they would be selling recreational patches. But
that's very odd. But we're back to that archaic attitude or that social stigma. There's still a lot of people out there who say, you know what, I want to try it to find out if it works for me, but I don't really want my doctor to know or my family to know that I'm using cannabis.
It gives them access to that. It's just, I think eventually they're talking about products like that and topicals, which they can't understand why it weren't a big hit, I guess, at a recreational store. Is the cannabis health products, CHPs, and allow them to be sold in other stores, where other types of creams are done.
Yeah, I'd love to start seeing them in the chiropractor's office. I'd love to see them in the naturopath shelves.
Exactly.
There's so many opportunities, and I'd love to see them walk into my next door neighbors and her say, would you like cannabis and rosehip tea or a Tetley?
Yeah, that'd be great. And how about a beverage? Yeah, how about a beverage so I can watch the hockey game? All right, let's take our break before we get gabbing here again. All right, off to commercial. Time to pay the bills. When we return, Green Irene will continue, and I will continue our shit chat. You're listening to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888. And grow on with CP.
PACE Radio is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Once again, peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Check them out.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Hey, welcome back and thanks for tuning into the program. We are live, yes we are, and you are listening to us at paceradio.net. Tonight I am joined by my friend and my guest, that is Green Irene of Green Irene's THC Talk Time, and it's time, Irene, that we talk the THC. See how I did that?
Yeah, absolutely did. I love that. That was beautiful. That was great.
Yes, earlier in the program, we were talking briefly about your Rogers situation. And, we've talked about several different things tonight. But what I want to talk to you about now is, as I said, THC's, Green Irene's THC Talk Time. That was a program that you did here on the Pace Radio Network for a while. Quite honestly, I don't even know exactly how long. I just know that you had the show running, and as always, we're patient, and sometimes it takes some time. We need some time away to deal with things, as patients have health issues, so on and so forth. And so let's discuss what is the future of THC Talk Time, however you want to call it.
Yeah, okay, so it's Green Irene's THC Talk Times, and the THC stands for, and this has changed a couple of times,
okay,
because everything I've been doing has been very transformative. I'll tell you, sometimes I felt like, a leaf in a windstorm, but we finally we finally landed and we've planted roots. And I say that's because all of these things are coming together finally. That web finally found a center. And so Green Irene's THC Talks Time, the THC stands for Transformative Health consulting or healthcare choices.
You mean it's not about getting buzzed and stoned?
Oh, but it is about that too.
Oh, okay.
What? Our bodies heal best when they're at rest. So
that's right.
Give them their time out. And hey, what better vehicle or tool or vice than cannabis, which is safe and actually does our body good. Those dairy milk commercials were lies. that milk does not do your body good. Alternatively,
yeah, I had to give up that long ago too. 20 years ago, I gave up milk.
Well, you know what? I watched a commercial called Bovine Booby Juice, and I will never drink milk or again, ever.
Oh, wow, one of those shows. Ooh, yeah. So okay, so yeah. All right. Before we get drifting off again here, so now with THC Talk Time, you had different guests. You talked about fibro, as we talked about last break. And other medical conditions that patients had that you talked with during your broadcast, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is I was doing an awful lot of studying on cannabis because I had to understand how it worked for me, and I had to understand I'm one of those persons if I sink my teeth into it, I'm done. I'm there, and so I had to learn everything there was to learn about it. Now the thing is the more I learn there is to learn, and I say that often. It's a tongue twister, but it's a truth.
Yeah, it is, and it's that passion of you've lived the experience of cannabis to see how it can change one's life, and you just can't stop talking about it.
Right. So with THC Talk Time, with the podcast, before I went off the air, what the idea was at the time was to have guests on the show to talk about cannabis, to get people more comfortable with cannabis and cannabis consumption from a multitude of different areas, as well as talk about their different conditions. How could cannabis help, if cannabis could help? But as you and I both know, there's a lot of shit that goes on in the background behind these publications. That production table is very, very challenging to stay on target and focused on your guest while watching that board and keeping an eye on comments from 4, 5, 6 different platforms. That is an awful lot. Yeah, and that's a lot for a brain to handle. When that brain goes into pain mode and it's already battling and strategizing over there, that's just a whole lot of whisking around for one brain to handle. I'm really glad to have had the time out, though, because I'm coming back with a much easier platform, one that is much more flexible to me having a disease. And this again is one of those things that I worked out in the book when I was writing the book, Fight Fibromyalgia Green and Clean, which will be available on Amazon as of September 11th. When I was going through it, while I was in that state, it was like, you know what? We have to adapt. This is a disease. If there was a cure, someone would have found it. Irene, you didn't find the cure for fibromyalgia. You found out how to take the quality of your life and the control of your health back. Yeah. You've taken that back, and that's what you're sharing, right? And so coming back, it's about being flexible. It's about having, my boss is a real bitch, but, I got her wrapped around my baby finger. Wait a minute. I am my own boss. And that means I don't beat myself up when things out of my control take me down. I congratulate myself for how I handle it. Good. And these are the things that I want to help people learn about themselves, and so that they can start doing it too. And so I'm coming back with a podcast, which means I will be airing live on YouTube with kind of like if you were to go to a seminar, you would watch the speaker up there talking and a slideshow would be playing, right?
Yeah.
Same idea, except instead of me being up on the stage, I will be here at Green Irene's THC Talk Time on Pace Radio Net. at 10 o'clock on Tuesdays, I think, which is where we were before, right?
Correct. Yes.
So
yes.
the audio's going out, and you can, and as you tell everyone, we can download that at any time from a multitude of different platforms. So there's the audio. But for those people who things get installed a little easier, learning these tips and these tools and these techniques and these strategies and how'd you do it, it's kind of like having coffee with your friend who just went through the same thing you're starting to go through. If you're more visual, here's the slideshow that's associated with that. And you don't have to put up with me if you're in the front row spitting on you,
That's right.
I'm not on the stage talking and all excited and trying to find my water. I'm just, the speakers don't really spit on their audience, but you get the visual, right? So yeah, instead of being on a stage, here's the slideshow, here's the audio cast. And if you still want help, you want like a guided program step by step, because holy what, you're overwhelmed with information here and your brain won't slow down. Come on over, check out the program. There's still, I think, last check, there was 11 seats out of the 25 that had already been spoken for. So 25 minus 11. Come on, Irene, do your math.
Almost half full. Oh, close enough.
I like that. So yeah, there's still a few seats available. And I will run another program again 90 days after that. Now, the only reason I'm not opening it up to more than 25 seats is I do want to be available at some crucial points where I know it does get challenging and difficult for people to sort of wrap their head around certain concepts or ideas, or, okay, so I get all this, but where do we start? So I do want to be available for some one-on-one time for each of the, I don't want to call people students, but for each of the coaching clients, right? The clients who are there trying to help themselves.
Yeah.
So I do want that one-on-one time with them. So that program is filling up fast. Way faster than I anticipated. This is going a lot quicker. It's exciting for me, obviously, because it's like, wow, yeah, people do want to know how to do this. I'm not the only one out there. And that's really cool, right? Because we are social creatures and we do want familiarity with the people around us. So, so I've got that program. That's at thefightfibro.ca. Also there right now, one of the things I'm going to be talking about whole lot, because I've got a whole lineup of shows coming up, Al. If you sign up there right now, like you just subscribe to the website, you can actually download a battle strategy map guide, which kind of helps you map out what I was talking about earlier that says, here's where I was, and this always lifts me up, or this definitely triggers me and brings me down. But when I start to go down, when I did this in the past, it helped me lift me back up. So you start to build your own little, wow, here's a visual of what my world is like. I like doing mine on a whiteboard because it changes. It changes day to day sometimes. Sometimes it changes season to season. Sometimes it changes out of the blue, right? But I can sit down and say, okay, here's the best version of me right now. Here's the version of me that is, functioning but struggling. Here's the version of me that, holy shit, I need some help. And here's the version of me that I can't do this. I definitely need help, and that's emergency lines. These are, you call emergency lines if you're at that state. But the first 3 states is where most of us live as chronically ill patients. We live at a best version of ourselves. We live at a version of ourselves that is struggling but coping, and we live at a version of ourselves that, shit, I need some help. I'm not doing things. Things aren't coming together right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right? Yes. Yeah, I have to agree with you. I'm looking back in my head here, in my situation that, there is a version of, holy fuck, hang on there. It's not going to be good. And there's the version of, this is tolerable, and we'll get through it. And then there's the version where things are feeling better.
Mm-hmm. And I bet you at every one of those points, because you've already survived each and every one of those points at least once, you found a way. So there was something that worked. Sometimes it was time. Sometimes it was time.
Sometimes it is, because I can tell you there are some internal pains that I don't care how much cannabis I'm consuming, it ain't gonna help as far as dealing with the pain and issues of things. But
right?
But you learn, you experience enough, you learn how to deal with it.
Yes.
And sometimes it's
here's
just suffering
a really cool
for
thing
time.
with the cannabis. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Here's a cool thing with the cannabis that will help you in those moments, because it's not going to kill the pain for you. But what it will help you do is get yourself into the right strain. So not one you use frequently, but definitely a high indica. I recommend a high leaning indica hybrid. So indica sativa, but higher indica. And put yourself into a state of hypnosis where you're actually physically battling something in that pain, kind of like a video game, or you know?
You can actually, you're right.
It helps. It really helps. And these are some of the things that in the next little while, Al, starting on Monday, a blog post comes out on greenirene.ca every Monday around 10 o'clock. It also gets posted to all the social media outlets, so you can find them on, pretty much anywhere you can find me. On Tuesdays, I will be back here on Pace Radio with Green Irene's THC Talk Time, and the audio podcasts are just that. Here's what we're dealing with today specifically, and here's different avenues that you can try. Try this, try that, try this.
So this won't be when it airs. This is going to be more like a seminar instead of an interview.
Correct. Yeah.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. So kind of like if you went into the classroom or the seminar room, that sort of thing, and you were listening to the instructor or a speaker tell you how to deal with this, or how to deal with that. Historically, I had thought about doing the whole Fraser Crane kind of thing where people could call in, but what a nightmare on the tech board. No.
Oh, yeah. This is seminar style. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so it'll be really cool. And
we have programs and stuff here on the network that have interviews. And your program will be more of a seminar situation, which is different, and it's still cannabis and it's still education.
Absolutely. I think we'll have a lot of listeners that will really find a lot of great value in the tools, the techniques, and learning how to tweak them for themselves. There's just a lot to be learned. I mean, the more we learn there is to learn, right?
That's right.
The day we stop learning is the day we're done. Yeah. So just keep going. And so that's Tuesdays. And of course, Tuesday night, I love hanging out with my friends at Info with Kim on her Facebook group page. It's just some downtime to say, hey guys, I'm going to kick back and have a puff. Want to paint?
It's for you. It sounds like a broadcast of, enjoyment as far as
so it's not educational, it's not in line with it's not in line with what I'm doing, but it's my time, and anybody that just wants to hang out, check it out too,
yeah exactly. So is there anything else you want to touch on here? We've got a few minutes here to the end.
Well, I think we really covered everything that I'm doing, everything that's coming up. I think.
What you talked about? You got this fibro thing. What type of seminars can people maybe look forward to in the coming weeks? And are you going to do this every week?
Every week. Okay. I'm expecting to do for at least 6 weeks is what I have planned to date. Our very first seminar, I'm just going to really talk on the different techniques that I use, specifically NLP, what it is, how it works, how you can use it, hypnosis, what it is, how you can use it, how cannabis applies, and I'm just going to briefly kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Not scan over everything, but Oh God, I didn't put my paperwork up in front of me. So yeah, I'm starting to run out of words here. But just to give you an idea.
Review everything, scan through. Trying to help you there with that.
Yeah, so I'll give, kind of give like the headlines of how
Overview.
cannabis plays a role. So here's how cannabis plays a role and what its influencing factors are, how it can be applied, what moving and stretching is going to do. So this is one that's the intro, and then from there, I'm going to take each of those pieces, grab different symptoms that we're dealing with, and really focus on them. Fibrofog happens to be one that is of great passion to me because it's very challenging. It takes over your brain. It gets held hostage. You end up having brain farts where you don't remember words or names or but there are ways, really cool tools that you can use, and they're easy to learn. And the more you practice them, the better you get. And just like any warrior, the more you practice anything, you practice karate, you're going to get better. You practice taekwondo, you're going to get better. You practice reading, you're going to get better. You practice walking, you get better. So it's the same idea. You start practicing these tools, and they're mind games. They really are. They're head games, but they're head games you're playing with yourself. Have a blast. You're in control.
You're in control. That's right.
So I'll be sharing a lot of those along the way, and we'll get into specifics when I'm offering different things on the websites, like this download, this template. Start here. Here's an idea. Start here. Modify it, tweak it, make it work for you. I mean, I'm giving you this stuff to help you. So do it, right? Getting in when I have those available, I'll be letting people know. So that's really what Tuesdays, I'll be talking about growing your own, why it's so important. Different hypnosis scripts. And really quit beating yourself up. We're still human beings. Here's the bottom line. If you're having trouble and you really want a hand and you feel like I've given you everything you need, but you're still not getting it, don't call me.
Yeah.
Call me, contact me, reach out through the website, reach out through Spreaker, reach out through Pace, reach out through Face, reach out to me. I'll be there. That being said, on Fridays, I will be available on the new Facebook page. It's facebook.com, Fibro Fight Series. On Fridays, I will be available like Fraser Crane. I'm listening. Have some real talk. So, I'm no Fraser Crane by any stretch of the imagination. I don't have a script, but I will be fielding as many questions and comments as I possibly can, as quickly as I can, because I would like the show to be limited to, 30 minutes or so, right? I'm still working on a couple of books. I've got clients to look after. I've got me to look after. And as we know, I've got Wookie.
That's right. Exactly. All right. Well, let's see. We're at the bottom of the hour, so let's give everybody your website addresses where they can find you. Review quickly when your show will be airing here on the network.
Okay. Very cool. So I'm available anywhere. Green Irene, Canna Talk. Canna Talk is hyphenated. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and I don't know what else. My websites, greenirene.ca. That's where you're going to find out about the coaching I do with NLP and hypnosis and cannabinoid therapies. And you can book a call with me there very easily. We'll set up a time just to chit chat first and to set you up with an appointment to figure out how I can help you. Then I have the fightfibro.ca. And that's where the new program has just rolled out. And you'll find a weekly blog, as well as all kinds of information and whatever programs I'm offering. Also, with things opening up, whether or not I'll be on stage anywhere, if you can come to different programs, if there's going to be any in-person programs available, I don't know. But as things evolve, I'm a one-woman show. So, and I put all this together myself. So when there's errors or there's missing info, my apologies in advance that you're not getting the info right away. You have to take an extra step. Call me. I'm just a call or an email away.
All right.
So those are them. And then of course there's the Fight Fibro page, on Facebook, Fibro Fight Series. And that's on Fridays. So Tuesdays I'm here with the seminar, and Fridays I'm on Facebook answering questions.
All right, good stuff. Alrighty. Let's see. Just a reminder to let everybody know that next Wednesday, the joint host will be Kim Cooper. She hopefully Irene. I don't know if you've seen. She was last time she was on the program. She was dealing with a lot of mud.
Oh no, I did not see that. Mud. Yeah,
Mud,
all this rain, it's
water,
killing us, eh?
She had stuff washed away, her driveway. Things were. Oh yes. She said it was they got 3 weeks of work done, and then in a matter of a week, it put them 3 weeks behind. So.
Oh my, Lord.
And next week we'll find out how her Stoner games went as well.
Oh, well, yes, and I'm so sorry I missed them. I'm so glad that she's going to do this on an annual basis. It's exciting. And maybe, I'll still get up there and see her this summer. Maybe I can go up and give her a hand. We'll see.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, you can find Pace on Twitter at Pace Radio. You can find us on Facebook. We're on Instagram. And you can also find us at our website. The main address is pace-online.ca. Thank you, as always. Go to our sponsors, our happy and friendly folks at BMA Hydroponics, Legacy420.com, drbuckcts.com. That's Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions. You got a garden it doesn't matter whether it's 4 plants or 400 plants, he'll help you get them all trimmed up, as well as the Camelford Lifestyle Shop. Plus, a big thank you to you, Irene. Good to hear. It's going to be here. It's going to be good to hear your voice again here on the network with your new show. A little bit different format, which is great. I think you're going to be very comfortable in that, and you're going to do a very good job.
Oh, I'm looking so forward to it, and thank you so much for asking me to come on tonight and talk about it all. It's so exciting. It's so exciting, and this is a really good comeback intro.
Exactly. You could have a 10-minute announcement or make it 90 minutes.
Irene can talk.
Irene can talk. Yes. Yes, you can. There's no doubt about that. All right. Plus, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening tonight to the program. Thank you, and good night.
Good night. Stay well.
I blame it on industry.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Do you want to hear what patients and cannabis advocates have to say? If so, then catch the Pace Radio Show Wednesday nights here on paceradio.net.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.